Okay, hi everyone.
Hi.
Yeah. I know how much you are excited of Roy Kim.
Yeah.
So, if my presentation goes boring, think me as a Roy Kim, okay?
Roy Kim.
Today we'll have topic of the relationship of temperature to climate change. Some people talks about global warming is not a serious problem. They say 0.6 degrees Celsius rise, it's not a big deal. It's just a small problem. They wonder the world, government, and countries overestimate the seriousness of global warming. However, this is because we don't know it really happens around us. You know, we don't know the big weather happens and sea level rise. So, if we pay attention to temperature change, we can recognize seriousness of climate change, especially of temperature change. Only 1 degree increase brings about irreversible consequence. Okay, according to temperature history of Earth, you can see this. Since the Earth born, the temperature and the weather is kept changing. Warm, cool, warm, cool, warm. However, in last 10,000 years, there has been little change from minus 0.5 degrees Celsius to 0.5 Celsius. Maybe it seems very small gap to you. However, you have to know this. This is an average value. Look at this. In Ice Age, average temperature is 4 Celsius to 6 Celsius. Now, average temperature is 12. 6 degrees resulting in lots of difference. They're full of ice, but we have oceans and grass and foods. I know, wood. Yeah. Now, the problem happened. Industrialization. Yeah. People started building trains and factories. And the city has been full of gas. Nowadays, it's even worse. They cut woods and build more factories. In the roads, they're full of cars, and in one day, thousands of airplanes fly in the sky. Also, a tremendous amount of food waste is generated by us. Animals lose their lives, lost their habitat, and also because of water and air pollution, we have disease and lost our lives. After industrialization, CO2 and temperature goes up rapidly. You see this part? Yeah, the red line. You can see increasing temperature speed is really rapid. Yeah. So carbon dioxide concentration, nitrous oxide concentration, methane concentration, and so on keeps going up now. So in last 100 years, 0.6 degrees Celsius rise. Then why 2 degrees Celsius is important? What's the meaning of this? 2 degrees Celsius is a point that avoids the most devastating effects of global warming. So if we keep the 2 degrees Celsius, then we can return to the safe level. According to the IPCC, the 5th report, there are some scenarios. You can see lower scenarios, higher emission scenarios, and even higher emission scenarios. In even higher emission scenarios, in 2,100 years, maybe 6.4 degrees Celsius increase. Let's see. If 6 Celsius increase, sea level rise 70 meters, and 30 to 50% of living species extinct. And estimated damage is 30 trillion won per year. And due to these problems, nuclear war, racism, food war will be happened. See, IPCC predicted that global temperatures would have risen by between 1.4 Celsius and 6.4 Celsius. If 1 degree goes up, drought and ice melt, and 2 2 degrees Celsius increase, ice sheet will be melt, and the sea level rise 7 meters. 3. Global warming runs out of control. 4. And Europe will become unlivable, and heat waves will hit the whole Europe. And another 5 meter, sea levels will go up too. And mass extinction. And if 6 degrees Celsius goes up, human can be extinct too.
Oh.
You can these pictures: droughts, flood, sea level rise, melting, mass extinction. Okay. Then, what is solution to this problem? How can we solve this problem? I think the only one solution is United Nations World Convention on Climate Change. Yeah, UNFCCC. According to IPCC, our goal has to be to keep the increase in the average global temperature below 2 degrees Celsius. If we, from 2012, if we reduce CO2 emission by 6%, or from 2020, if we reduce CO2 emission by 50%, we can return to the safe level, 350 ppm of CO2 emission. But we have to attention to this problem. Montreal Protocol is mainly about fan gas. However, Kyoto Protocol is related of CO2. But Montreal Protocol is successful. However, Kyoto Protocol failed because Montreal Protocol is mainly related to the benefits of developed countries. Developed countries already had an alternative chemical of fan gas, so they sell it and they can make money. However, Kyoto Protocol is not. It is impossible to make money without CO2 emission. So now countries and governments and organizations have to think this is their responsibilities and duties. So the strong regulations must be survived. Okay? Then we deserve to enjoy our beautiful environment. Thank you.
My name is Min Yang, and I will start my presentation. But before starting my presentation, I want to apologize for everyone because my presentation has a lot of words on it. Because the reason of this disaster is I want to talk about the international protocol and worldwide organization. It is a little bit confused, so I have to write a lot of words on this. Now, let's start my presentation. The subject of my presentation is Kyoto Protocol and governmental effect to stunt climate change. So, first, the introduction of my production is what is carbon emission trading right. The definition of carbon emission trading right is market-based approach used to control pollution by providing economic incentives for achieving reductions in the emission of pollutants. So let's talk about this more. The countries or the companies which emit a lot of pollutants should reduce the emission or have to buy the right to emit the pollutants. So, by the theory of economy, we can predict the climate change. In case of Korea, sorry about my mistake. And how to trade the carbon emission trading right? The organization of trading carbon emission trading right is CER's exchange. It is the international trade market about carbon emission trading right. It is made in EU, and the first market is made by Chicago in 2003. So about 32 countries join in the carbon emission trading right. And last, Korea, in case of Korea, we are going to join in the carbon emission trading right in 2015. So let's talk about Kyoto Protocol. The Kyoto Protocol is a protocol to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate. It is called the UNFCCC. So it is to set obligation on the industrialized countries to reduce their emissions of greenhouse gases. So it is adopted on December 11th, 1997 in Kyoto, and it is entered into force on February 16, 2005. It is passed. And let's talk about this more. The meaning of the Kyoto Protocol is, as you can see, it is specified the international effect to strong climate change. It is gives some solution about the matter of climate change. It is very important. So the only remaining developed country that not to have ratified the protocol is the United States. It is very important problem. So in the Kyoto Protocol, the main meeting agenda is carbon emission trading, right? As I said before. So a lot of countries try to make the international organization about carbon emission trading rights. And but in Kyoto Protocol, there's a lot of problems on it. The first problem is, as I said, United States did not join this protocol. It is very important because United States is the most powerful country. That means United States is the most developed country. And next, it is mean that the most dirty country that emits enormous carbon dioxide. So without United States, the power of Kyoto Protocol is very weak. So another problems about Kyoto Protocol is it can obstruct the industry of developing countries such as Africa and Asia. And first, in case of developed country, they already finished developing, so they don't need to worry about carbon dioxide emission because they can reduce it by changing their industry itself. But in case of developing country, they started developing, so they have a lot of problem if they have to reduce the carbon dioxide. So this is the finish of my presentation. Thanks.
Hi, Hi, I am Kyun and nice to meet you. And now I want to introduce greenhouse effect and greenhouse gases to you. This is so important issue that affects many environmental problems like global warming, so listen carefully, please. What is greenhouse effect? It is the phenomenon whereby the Earth's atmosphere traps solar radiation caused by presence of gas that allow the sunlight to pass through but absorb the heat radiated back from the Earth's surface. As you can see, the solar radiation passes through the atmosphere toward the Earth, and some solar radiation reflected by the atmosphere, and so solar energy is absorbed by the Earth's surface and warms it. And infrared radiation passes through the atmosphere and is lost into space, but some of them is absorbed and re-emitted by greenhouse gas molecules. So direct effect is warming of the Earth.